Okaeri nasai minasan. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Gotchard episode 9. This is one of the better episodes in the series, and I believe a lot of you guys would actually agree with me. And part of the reason is because of how they write the story and how they pass the story in this episode. In this first episode, they focus on introducing a new character called Hijiri and establishing her backstory. And by the end of this episode, we actually get to see a plot twist where the criminal that has been freed by Cloto, one of the criminals that has been freed by Cloto, turns out to be the brother of Hijiri itself. And we, based on the next episode preview, we already know that Hijiri's brother is gonna become a pyromania, is gonna burn everything, has a desire to burn everything. And we already learned his backstory in this episode, where when Hijiri's parents actually die, Hijiri's brother brought her to a graveyard to just have a little bit of walk, and both of them actually saw a Hitodama itself. So both of them actually interpreted the Hitodama in a separate light. Okay, for Hijiri, she interpreted it as like the walls. There's another wall behind what we see, and that is why she felt really connected to haunted places, because like it is kind of like the closest gap she can get to her parents. But for the brother, when the brother saw the Hitodama, he is, I would say he is struck by awe, okay, like struck by amazement, like wow, so this is fire, this is beautiful, and he wants to create it over and over again, and that's why he became kind of like a pyromania or something like that. So this is like the whole things, like how one person can, like two separate person can experience the same thing but came out with a different conclusion itself. So I think this is really interesting, because how they write the story is building up, is already telling us a lot of details about the brother before we even meet the brother, and that is what makes it really good and really interesting. You can really get invested with the kind of like villain arc and villain story, and that is why I would say a lot of people are really invested in Kamen Rider W's villain, especially Weather, Nazca. I think both of them are like really good villain written in the story itself. And even Taboo, man, like that girl, like in the entirety, the most of the villain in Kamen Rider W are really memorable. But for the rest, it's like the rest of the series, like the villain, you don't really have a lot of memory about them, because we don't actually get to see like proper establishment of the villain, something like that. So if Gacha actually proceed to do that moving forward, we would actually get to see something really fun, which is we get to spend more time with the villain and really establish a proper story itself. And we actually get to see this two-parter not the first time in Kamen Rider Gotchard already. In the previous arc, where we actually get to see Sabo Needle, it has already started with the two-parter episode theme, but this is definitely a story that I would say they're gonna continue to start doing a two-parter story moving forward. Okay, so I think that is their plan, because they try. For the first few episodes, is just kind of like a rapid fire of Chemy, and right now they actually choose to slow down, like really take their time to build their villain, build the monster of the week, and it really helps with the storytelling. It also gives the character a little bit time to breathe and for us to get to know them, something like that. So that is really subarashi. Another thing that this episode did really well is to tell us what makes Gotchard so special, and we actually learned this from Lakeshi and Valvarat itself. So both of them actually showed to us in this episode they are able to use multiple Chemy at once. They call it the multiple transmutation circle or multiple transmutation power, something like that. So basically what they did is they use a similar category Chemy card to fuse into their own body itself. Valvarat, for example, uses Mad Wheels as his best form and uses the helicopter and also the shovel as a power up item or power up add-on to his body itself. Similar to Lakeshi, she is actually using the happy clover as the best form and using the bamboo card as the power up itself. So this is what makes Gotchard so special, because Gotchard is able to mix two different category cards together. So we actually get to see an insect card and a trend card mixing together to become a steam hopper form, rather than a vehicle plus a vehicle. We actually get to see an insect plus a vehicle itself. So this is a really special power that has been portrayed by Kamen Rider Gotchard itself, and that is what makes Gotchard so special, which is the ability to transmute different category gacha card, different category Chemy card into a single form itself. So that is a really I don't think I really actually think about this and thought about this until this episode actually kind of put it in front of us, and it really makes me think like, wow, so that is what makes Gotchard special, that is what makes Gotchard so strong, something like that. So that is really interesting as well. But that is not only the case, okay? After the encounter between Valvarat and Legacy, we actually get to see Valvarat picking up a piece of amalgam from the floor, and that actually came from the Tonbo, the great Tonbo Malgam. And I believe how do I say it, Spana is gonna start to figure out what the Abyssal Sister is gonna do, but is he gonna succumb to the dark side? Is he gonna get greedy? Because we actually saw the Abyssal Sister is actually trying to create a driver for themselves using the amalgam pieces and using the malice that remains in the pieces itself. They are fusing it all together to create their own driver itself. So it really makes me wonder whether or not Spana is gonna be kind of like succumb to the dark side. Is like, hey, you want this technology, you want to be a rider yourself, follow me, I have the ability to create a driver for you, something like that. So maybe that is what is happening. But then again, another possibility is that maybe Spana, because of he figure out what the Abyssal Sister is gonna do, but instead of walking together with the Abyssal Sister, he actually used the knowledge that he learns about what the Abyssal Sister is trying to do, and he actually went ahead and created his own Kamen Rider driver itself. So he is no longer gonna be called Valvarat, but he's gonna be called Kamen Rider Valvarat. Okay, so that is another possibility. But then again, I'm not sure how they're gonna write the story moving forward. I would really hope that Spana actually create his own driver that is actually gonna really lock him down as one of the like really super genius alchemists in the Alchemy Academy, and it really shows how much of a difference between him and Houtarou itself. Okay, so hopefully we get to see that, but that we also get to see the first look of the dark driver. I'm not sure what that driver is actually gonna be called, but when we actually saw the driver itself, it almost seems like it has a circular in the middle. So I believe there is gonna be where they insert the Chemy Cards, and then there's kind of like a little gash at the side of the driver itself. So maybe that gash is to kind of like symbolize how much malice that they actually have. I'm not sure how the driver actually works, but it looks interesting. It looks really fun. So I can't wait to actually see it in action when we actually get to see it in action. Okay, so next thing we want to talk about is we want to go back to Kyoto. Okay, because we go back to, and not yet. Before we go back to Kyoto, let us stay a little bit in Tokyo a little bit and talk about Sabi and Renge. Based on what the conversation that Sabi and Renge have in this episode, I can confidently say that I was right. I was right when I said that Sabi and the tablet are two separate identities. Sabi is not using the tablet to speak louder, but instead Sabi actually created an AI that helps him to speak his mind in the tablet itself. And we actually get to see Renge confirming this. Is like Keso, like when she say like what this like a cheeky AI, something like that. He doesn't actually say that you are cheeky Sabi, something like that. Okay, so it's like if Renge knew that the tablet, if Renge thought that the tablet is kind of like what Sabi used to amplify his voice, then she would have said what a you are cheeky Sabi, but instead she actually says cheeky AI, something like that. So this actually confirmed my theory on Sabi and the tablet are two separate individuals. But this is the fun. This is where the fun begins. Because of how the tablet is an AI, there is a lot of potential to where the tablet can actually go. Like, are we gonna see, like, I mean, like in the movie crossover and all the stuff, they can definitely use the AI to become kind of like a hubway for art to enter, or maybe it can be a hubway for brand to enter. It can be a lot of different things. Okay, so like I think that the tablet is an open opportunity for any possibility crossover with the previous series. But another possibility here is that what if the tablet AI itself is actually a Chemy created by Sabimaru himself, that he doesn't even know that the AI turns out to be a Chemy. If that is the case, it is gonna be really insane, okay, and it's gonna be really fun. But I don't think that is gonna happen, because they would have actually kind of like pick up on that already if that is the case. So really Subarashi thing. So with that being said, we can go back to Kyoto. So when we are back in Kyoto, one thing I want to talk about that I really love in this episode has to be Rene. Okay, Rene get the opportunity to show a different side of her, where she just laugh her ass off when she's in the haunted house, and she's be like ha 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 ha, Kajiki and Houtarou is afraid, and we get to see her smile on the screen, and that is just amazing. Okay, so I think she looks really nice when she's smiling and laughing, and when she's kind of like portraying a happy look, she has the perfect face to do that. But at the same time, she also have the perfect resting bitch face, okay, when she has the best RBF of all. But I think it's okay. Let us be honest, okay. Like I am part of the gang where I actually says that the acting of Kamen Rider Gotchard is quite bad in the first few episodes. But right now, after watching them for 9 episodes, I really felt like is either that I got used to their acting, or maybe they really got better throughout the process of acting as the character itself. Because right now, when I watch the series, the acting no longer bothers me. I no longer think that, hey, this acting sucks and all those stuff. Right now, I'm more hooked to the story itself. So it is either they improve their acting, or we just got used to seeing how bad they are. Okay, so but what I'm trying to say here is like, one thing about Rene and her character is that there's a lot of different way you can actually interpret her character. One way you can interpret the character as tsundere, like she's cold in the beginning, but it turns out she's like super sweet and all those stuff. That is actually how Rene, the actress of Rene, interpreted her character when she first read the script itself. And I felt like it is not really the case, okay. Like, she's not kind of like a full-on tsundere, but she is just someone that is like more like she's more introverted and more private in nature, and she's like really independent, like elitist mindset, but she's nice in the deep down as well. Okay, so that is not kind of like not really like a typical tsundere you would think, like, oh, I hate you, like I do this for you, but don't think that I'm only doing this for you because I care about you. No, that is not the type of tsundere. But I think the director has the right idea when the director actually asks Rene to like, hey, you can be more stoic, give less expression most of the time. And I think that really sells the character of Rene for how of a frog in a well she is. Like all her life she has been in the world of alchemy. She never actually properly got exposed to the rest of the world, but in this episode we actually get to see her having fun and going around Kyoto, and she's like happily planning her trip to Kyoto. I'm gonna go to this, go to that, and when she go to the Egamura, she actually got a lot of fun. Like she is the one that wanted to wear the Shinsengumi uniform rather than Houtarou. Okay, like so I think I at first I thought that Houtarou is the one that forces Rinne to wear the costume, but turns out Rinne is the one that forces Houtarou to wear the costume. Like, hey, this is a sacred Shinsengumi thing, something like that. So it's like you can really see kind of like a part of Rinne that you never see before, and this only works this works so well because for the previous few episodes we actually get to see most of her face is like really stoic and all those stuff, and I think the reason why her face is stoic most of the time is also because she is serious most of the time, and she's not the type of person that actually let go and let loose most of the time as well. So it makes sense for me. Okay, like her character just clicks for me most of the time. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why I said that, but let me move on to the next thing. So the next thing I want to talk about is Minato versus Cloto. Okay, I think this is like one of the most weirdest part in this episode. Like most of the time during a fight itself, okay, so the villain is usually the one that summons the minion, but in this episode we actually get to see Minato is the one that summons the minion to fight against Cloto. It's like, I'm gonna summon my ninja puppet to attack Cloto. I was like, this seems a bit wrong. You know, like it's like usually the good guy is the one that I'm gonna fight you hand to hand, one on one, and the villain is usually the one that summons the minion. But in this scene, Minato did use the Uno reverse card and summon the minion on Cloto. So that is really interesting. Okay, but I think a lot of people is another thing. Last thing that I want to talk about in this episode is gonna be the Yugodo ratio. A lot of people has been hinting at us and talking about how, when they go to Kyoto, they're gonna meet the Yugodora seal card and all those stuff because of the Jang Malgam itself. A lot of people actually expected that to be the Yugodora seal card, but turns out it is not. Okay, it is not the Yugodora seal card. The level 10 card is not Yugodora seal, and I'm not sure what would it actually be. Okay, because like right now we actually saw multiple plant-based card used by Cloto to give to the monster of the week, and we also get to see Lakesi using a plant-based card as well. So maybe they are not wrong. Maybe Yuga Duracell is actually at Kyoto waiting to be found, just that we are not sure which level 10 card is it. But I have an idea. What if the level 10 card is actually the UFO itself? And do we actually have kind of like a UFO level 10 card that has been teased to us already? I don't think so. Okay, like the level 10 card that we know so far that exists is Magician X, Wizard X, Beetle X, and also Yuga Duracell. And I think there are more level 10 cards, but these are the three that I can think of right now. So I'm not sure which one is gonna appear in Kyoto, and one of them is gonna have the ability is either they have the ability to burn or not. I'm not sure whether or not the burning one is gonna be the one that we saw Hijiri's brother use. Like I don't even think the Hijiri's brother is gonna be the one that used the level 10 Chemy Card to henshin into a Malgam itself. And I think the level 10 Malgam is gonna be a mini boss character that is similar to Weather in Kamen Rider W itself, and also similar to Nazca in the series itself. Like he plays a big role to kind of like leads the rider, the good guy, to a different direction, and he's not gonna be like the one-off monster of the week, but he is also not the main villain of the story itself. So he's just gonna like halfway there type of character. So I think that is gonna be really fun if we actually get to see that in action. But yeah, I'm really not sure how things are gonna go, but Jungler Jan is not the level 10 card. Jungler Jan is only level 1, and we are still waiting to see which one is the level 10 card itself. And I don't think Hijiri's brother is gonna use the level 10 card by the end of the day. But really amazing thing. And another thing that I really love in this episode is like, let us go back to Rene once again. Okay, so Rene actually tell Houtarou to like, hey, use the bat wings to fly, use the bat beam, something like that. That is like legit, like she is the one that is like controlling her Digimon. It's like, hey, Digimon, use this. Or like using the Pokemon, use fly, use your beam, use laser beam, something like that. So Rene is like super fun in this episode, and I really hope to get to see more of her, this side of her moving forward. Hopefully she's gonna bring this back to Tokyo when she goes back to Tokyo as well, and that is gonna make her character super duper fun to just hang around. I think like she is serious most of the time, but when she wants to have fun, she's gonna be the one that seriously have fun. Okay, so that is really amazing. But one thing that is really sad is that Kajiki actually missed out the big mega fight between Jungler Jan and also the Bad King Robo itself. Okay, so really fun episode. I really enjoy everything that went down in this episode, and yeah, I think that is pretty much it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you actually think of the story so far? What do you think about this episode? What is good? Okay, let us only comment what is good, and maybe give a little bit of your theory if you have any theory regarding who could it be, like which level 10 card could actually be coming in Kyoto itself. So it really makes me wonder, like, are we actually gonna see them going on a different trip again in the series itself? Because one thing we know is that right now they're going to a school trip, and they have summer vacation, and they have golden week vacation, and they have also winter vacation as well. So they have multiple opportunity for them to actually go to different part of Japan to shoot, kind of for like every single time when they go out of Tokyo, they are actually gonna find a level 10 card. What if that is how they write the story? I think that is gonna be really fun, because things they can really switch things up by the different seasons and like the different time and period where they actually get to meet the level 10 Chemy, something like that. But yeah, I think that's all from me. Hope you enjoy. If you made it this far into the video, means you enjoy the content, and I have a special word for you, and that is passport. Why passport? Because when you travel from one nation to another nation, you need a passport, and everyone needs a passport if you are planning to go to Japan one day and go visit Egamura yourself. Okay, so that is all from me. Hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Goodbye, and I'll be seeing you guys in the future. Bye.